Hollywood has always been a world of glitz, glamour, and larger-than-life stars. But behind the bright lights, many stories remain untold. Long before diversity became a talking point, Muslim actors were leaving their mark on the silver screen, shaping how audiences imagine distant lands, complex characters, and cultural worlds. From silent film legends to golden age heartthrobs, these performers broke barriers, navigated exoticism, and brought depth to roles often reduced to stereotypes. Today we dive into 17 golden age actors who were Muslims, a hidden legacy that helped define global cinema and continues to inspire. Paul Muni. Paul Muni's life wasn't as simple as the roles he played. Born in 1895 in what is now Ukraine, he grew up in a Jewish family that was influenced by several belief systems, including ideas linked to Islam. Those early influences shaped a mind that was always curious, which later showed in the wide range of characters he took on. Muni didn't chase fame. He cared more about craft than glamour, and that focus helped him deliver some of the strongest performances of early Hollywood. His chilling turn as Tony Camonte in Scarface, 1932, proved he could command the screen as a violent mob boss. Only a few years later, he switched gears completely and played a gentle, driven scientist in The Story of Louis Pasteur, 1936. That role earned him an Academy Award and sealed his reputation as one of the most skilled actors of his time. What made Muni stand out even more was his total dedication. He transformed his voice, posture, and even his face for every role. Friends and co-workers said he almost disappeared into each character, leaving nothing of himself behind. Although his link to Islamic teachings wasn't widely discussed, it added another layer to a man who absorbed ideas from many cultures. Muni lived between worlds, shaped by Europe, America, and a blend of beliefs that gave him a wider view of life. His legacy remains strong. Actors today still study his work, and his name carries the weight of someone who pushed himself in every role and never settled for simple choices. Rex Ingram. Rex Ingram didn't just cross continents, he bridged two worlds. Born in Cairo in 1892 to American parents, he grew up in a unique cultural mix. Later in life, he embraced Islam, converting in the 1940s, a period when African-American Islam was gaining real momentum back in the United States. Ingram's screen presence was magnetic. He featured in high-profile films like The Thief of Baghdad, 1940, where his gravitas added weight to the swashbuckling fantasy. A few years later, he turned heads again in Sahara, 1943, bringing a mix of respect, strength, and dignity to his role. His conversion wasn't just personal, it connected him to an evolving movement. At that time, Islam was growing among African American communities, planting seeds for giants like Malcolm X and Muhammad Ali. Ingram's journey reflected how this spiritual shift was part of a broader cultural awakening. Although he wasn't born into the faith, his commitment felt deep and intentional. People spoke of him with reverence, noting how his beliefs gave him a calm confidence. He used his public platform not just to act, but to symbolize something larger: identity, perseverance, and spiritual awakening. Off-screen, Ingram lived a life that went beyond Hollywood glamour. He remained thoughtful and grounded, someone who made choices not just for fame, but for meaning. When he died in 1950, his legacy stretched far, as one of the early black actors who owned big-screen roles and owned his faith. Faten Hamama. Faten Hamama wasn't born to follow, she was born to lead. Nicknamed the Lady of the Arab Screen, she rose from child actor to legend, transforming how women were seen in Egyptian and Arab cinema. She made her screen debut when she was barely 7 or 8, eventually acting in nearly 100 films over a career that spanned decades. Her performances were graceful but fierce, and she often played women caught in social struggles, demanding change. In I Want a Solution, 1975, for example, she highlighted the unfairness of divorce laws in Egypt, helping spark real debate. Though she never became a Hollywood star, her marriage to Omar Sharif lifted her into global awareness. Sharif converted to Islam to marry her in 1955, telling everyone she was the only love of his life. Together, they became cinema royalty, starring in films and embodying a powerful cultural pairing. Hamama picked roles that weren't just pretty faces. She challenged social norms and played strong, multidimensional women. In The Nightingale's Prayer, she delivered a performance of raw emotion and grit, showing that her screen presence wasn't just for melodrama, it was for meaningful stories. Her work with progressive directors helped make her voice a symbol for women's empowerment. Off-screen, she was deeply respected. When she died in 2015, thousands mourned her, and her funeral was held at a mosque, underlining how much she meant to her community. She had a calm dignity rooted in her faith, and she moved through life with elegance and purpose. Faten Hamama's legacy, she broke barriers, not just in film, but in social consciousness. Her life's work gave depth to the image of Muslim women in Arab cinema, proving they could lead stories, demand justice, and inspire generations. Sal Mineo. A flash of intensity and vulnerability, Sal Mineo captured the attention of Hollywood and audiences alike. Born in 1939 to Sicilian parents in the Bronx, he grew up navigating a mix of cultures and faiths. Later in life, he converted to Islam, embracing a spiritual path that reflected his curiosity and search for deeper meaning. Mineo's breakout came with Rebel Without a Cause, 1955, where he played Plato, a troubled teenager yearning for connection. The role was electric. He brought both fragility and courage to the screen, earning an Academy Award nomination at just 16. Critics and fans alike were captivated, and Mineo became one of the most iconic young actors of the 1950s. He didn't stop there. In Exodus, 1960, Mineo portrayed complex emotions in a politically charged story, showing he could handle both intensity and nuance. His willingness to embrace challenging roles made him a standout among his generation. Beyond acting, Mineo was open about his evolving identity. At a time when many in Hollywood avoided personal discussions, he spoke candidly about his beliefs and cultural heritage. This honesty gave him a quiet authority, and it made him a role model for young actors struggling with similar questions about identity and faith. Tragically, Mineo's life was cut short at just 37, yet his impact remains enduring. Through roles that explored vulnerability, defiance, and heart, he left a mark not only on cinema, but on cultural conversation. Sal Mineo showed that young actors could be fearless, thoughtful, and deeply human, a legacy that continues to resonate decades later. Maria Montez. Hollywood had never seen color like hers. Maria Montez, born in the Dominican Republic in 1912, became famous as the Queen of Technicolor, lighting up the screen with her dramatic flair and exotic presence. Though her roots were Caribbean, she developed a deep fascination with Middle Eastern culture and later converted to Islam, embracing aspects of the faith that resonated with her. Her films were spectacular and over the top, full of fantasy, adventure, and dazzling costumes. In Arabian Nights, 1942, she played a beguiling princess navigating danger and romance, while Cobra Woman, 1944, showcased her in dual roles, flipping between innocent charm and mysterious power. Though these films often leaned on stereotypes, they brought elements of Middle Eastern aesthetics, lavish robes, ornate jewelry, intricate sets, into American living rooms for the first time. Off-screen, Montez was known for her intelligence and curiosity. She studied languages, learned about different cultures, and explored spirituality with the same passion she brought to her performances. Her conversion to Islam wasn't just a headline. It reflected a personal journey of discovery, aligning her life with the fascination she often portrayed on screen. Even as critics dismissed her films as mere escapism, audiences couldn't look away. Her presence was magnetic, and she had a rare ability to combine glamour with a sense of otherworldly depth. Maria Montez's legacy lies not only in Technicolor spectacle, but also in the subtle cultural bridges she built. Through her performances, she introduced glimpses of Middle Eastern and Muslim aesthetics to Hollywood, leaving an impression that still lingers in cinematic history. Victor Mature. Muscles, charm, and a screen presence that could fill any frame, Victor Mature was Hollywood's answer to rugged masculinity. Born in 1913 in Ohio, he became known for roles that ranged from biblical heroes to Western lawmen, starring in classics like My Darling Clementine, 1946, and Samson and Delilah, 1949. His strong jawline and confident stride made him instantly recognizable, but there was more to Mature than meets the eye. It was on a film set that his personal life took an unexpected turn. Meeting Omar Sharif sparked a deep interest in spirituality, and eventually Mature converted to Islam. Unlike some career-shaping decisions, this conversion didn't alter the types of roles he was offered, or the box office success he enjoyed. Instead, it reflected a subtle shift in Hollywood, where Islamic culture was increasingly making its mark behind the scenes and in the lives of its stars. Mature's performances often embodied strength, resilience, and moral complexity. In Samson and Delilah, he brought a heroic intensity to the legendary biblical figure, while in My Darling Clementine, his calm charisma helped anchor a film full of tension and drama. Both roles required not just physical presence, but a nuanced understanding of character, something Mature delivered effortlessly. Off-camera, he lived a life that blended fame with personal exploration. Though his religious conversion remained mostly private, it highlighted Hollywood's quiet intersections with global faiths and ideas. Victor Mature's legacy is twofold. He left behind unforgettable performances that defined mid-century cinema, and he demonstrated that personal faith and Hollywood stardom could coexist, even when the world was watching. Omar Sharif. Omar Sharif wasn't just a dashing movie star. He became a cultural bridge between East and West. Born Michel Dimitri Chalhoub in Alexandria, Egypt in 1932, he converted to Islam and changed his name to Omar Sharif when he married famed Egyptian actress Faten Hamama in 1955. His breakthrough on the international stage came with Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, where he played Sheriff Ali alongside Peter O'Toole. That performance earned him an Academy Award nomination and made him a household name around the world. He followed that up with a starring role in Dr. Zhivago, 1965, where he brought heart and sensitivity to the iconic character, a part that won him a Golden Globe. Before the Hollywood spotlight, Sharif was already a star in Egyptian cinema. He spoke multiple languages: Arabic, English, French, Greek, Italian, and Spanish, which helped him land roles across different film industries. Outside acting, Sharif had a lifelong passion for bridge. He formed the Omar Sharif Bridge Circus, promoting the card game in Europe, and later wrote about bridge for many years. His personal life had its highs and lows. His marriage to Faten Hamama ended in 1974. He never remarried, and he later said he never fell in love again. Sharif's legacy is enormous. By starring in both Egyptian films and major Western epics, he paved the way for Middle Eastern actors in global cinema. He passed away in 2015 in Cairo, but his legacy, his talent, charm, and unique place between two worlds lives on. Sabu Dastagir. Sabu Dastagir's story reads like a fairy tale, only this was real life. Born in 1924 in Mysore, India, he grew up speaking Urdu and working around elephants after losing his parents at a young age. His life changed when a filmmaker spotted him and cast him in Elephant Boy, 1937, making him the first Indian actor to break into Hollywood. From there, his stardom soared. He played the adventurous youth in The Drum, 1938, the cunning Abu in The Thief of Baghdad, 1940, and even Mowgli in The Jungle Book, 1942. His screen presence and exotic charm made him a natural fit for fantasy epics, though it also highlighted Hollywood's fascination with his foreignness. During World War II, Sabu moved to America and joined the U.S. Army Air Forces. He flew as a tail gunner in the Pacific Theater and was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross for his bravery. But after the war, his roles started to decline. Studios weren't sure how to cast him once fantasy films waned, and he often remained boxed into exotic hero parts. Despite his success overseas, Sabu never acted in any Indian films, though he was once considered for the lead role in Mother India. He died suddenly in California in 1963 at just 39 years old. Yet Sabu left a powerful legacy. He wasn't just a Hollywood star, he was a pioneer, one of the first Indian faces in global cinema. His path helped open the door for other actors from his country, and in 1960, he was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a tribute to his trailblazing career. Sessue Hayakawa. Sessue Hayakawa was the kind of actor who made Hollywood hearts skip a beat long before there were many Asian faces on screen. Born Kintaro Hayakawa in 1886 in Chiba, Japan, He defied expectations by leaving his homeland to study in Chicago. He ended up breaking into silent films, and in 1915 his role in The Cheat shot him to stardom, making him one of Hollywood's very first male sex symbols. His brooding, magnetic presence captivated audiences, and he broke new ground for Asian actors. At the height of the silent era, Hayakawa didn't just settle for being typecast. He founded his own production company so he could tell more nuanced stories. Still, much of his early career leaned into forbidden lover or villainous roles, a reflection of how Hollywood saw him at the time. After a lull and changing times when talkies arrived, his career took another turn. In 1957, he made a stunning comeback in The Bridge on the River Kwai, playing Colonel Saito. The performance earned him an Oscar nomination and proved he could carry complex, powerful characters even later in life. Off the screen, Sessue's journey had depth. He embraced Zen Buddhism, eventually becoming a Zen master, and even writing an autobiography called Zen Showed Me the Way, to peace, happiness, and tranquility. He coached younger actors and reflected deeply on life in his later years. His legacy is huge. He was not only a pioneer as one of Hollywood's first Asian leading men, but he also pushed back against stereotypes, carving a path for others to follow. Tony Curtis. Even Hollywood legends have private journeys, and Tony Curtis's was quietly transformative. Born Bernard Schwartz in 1925 to Jewish parents, he became one of the biggest stars of the 1950s and 60s, known for his charm, wit, and versatility. Films like Some Like It Hot, 1959, and Spartacus, 1960, cemented his status as an icon, but behind the glitz, Curtis was exploring questions about faith and identity. In the 1960s, Curtis converted to Islam, a personal decision that reflected his curiosity and search for meaning. Unlike career-driven choices, this spiritual turn was private and introspective. Though he later returned to his Jewish roots, the experience left a mark, showing that even major Hollywood stars could wrestle with questions of belief, culture, and personal growth. Curtis's screen persona often emphasized charm and humor, but he brought depth to dramatic roles as well. In Spartacus, he demonstrated quiet intensity and moral complexity, proving he could carry both action and emotional weight. That balance mirrored the duality in his life, a public figure navigating fame while privately exploring faith. Despite the brevity of his conversion, Curtis's journey highlights an era when Hollywood stars were increasingly exposed to global cultures and ideas. He wasn't just entertaining audiences, he was also living a story of self-discovery, one that intersected with the broader conversations about identity in mid-century America. Tony Curtis remains a Hollywood legend, not only for his iconic roles, but for the way he allowed himself to explore and embrace different facets of his identity, leaving a legacy both on and off screen. Ali Fazal. Can a single role bridge centuries of cinema history? For Ali Fazal, it seems possible. Though a modern actor, his heritage and work connect him to the rich lineage of Muslim actors who helped shape Hollywood. He may not have been part of the golden age, but his career reflects the enduring influence of actors like Sabu, who introduced Western audiences to nuanced portrayals of Eastern characters decades ago. Fazal first gained international attention with Victoria and Abdul, 2017, playing Abdul Karim, a young Indian clerk who becomes a close confidant to Queen Victoria. The role required subtlety and depth. He had to convey humility, intelligence, and quiet courage while navigating the tension between two very different cultures. In many ways, this mirrors the challenges faced by Muslim actors in early Hollywood, balancing identity, expectation, and audience perception. Beyond this breakthrough, Fazal's career spans Bollywood and international cinema, showcasing versatility and an ability to move between worlds. His performances demonstrate a respect for culture and character, much like the trailblazers of old Hollywood who brought authenticity to their exotic roles. Off-screen, Fazal embraces his heritage while engaging global audiences, becoming a modern example of how Muslim actors can shape stories and challenge stereotypes. Ali Fazal's work reminds us that the legacy of Muslim actors in cinema isn't confined to history. From Sabu to Fazal, the thread continues, a blend of talent, cultural insight, and the ability to bring East and West together on screen in ways both timeless and relevant. Merle Oberon. What does it mean to be Hollywood's exotic star? Merle Oberon spent much of her career answering that question without ever speaking it aloud. Born in 1911 in Bombay, India, to an Anglo-Indian mother, her heritage was complex and occasionally linked to Muslim ancestry, though the details remain a topic of debate. Oberon rose to fame in the 1930s and 1940s, captivating audiences with her striking looks and undeniable screen presence. Films like Wuthering Heights, 1939, showcased her talent, blending elegance, vulnerability, and a quiet strength that drew viewers into every scene. Her beauty and poise allowed her to navigate Hollywood's obsession with exotic stars while still commanding major leading roles. Behind the glamour, Oberon was known for her professionalism and resilience. In an era when studios often controlled every aspect of an actor's image, she carefully managed her career, letting her performances speak louder than her personal life. Her private approach to faith and identity added an air of mystery, enhancing the allure that audiences found so captivating. Even without publicly embracing a particular religion, Oberon's presence in Hollywood broke certain molds. She represented a more global face on the screen, at a time when most stars fit a narrow definition of beauty and background. Merle Oberon's legacy isn't just about the films she starred in, it's about the quiet power of her individuality. She showed that talent, charm, and resilience could shine through, making her one of Hollywood's most unique and unforgettable stars of the Golden Age. Rudolph Valentino. Long before the Golden Age was defined, Rudolph Valentino was Hollywood's first screen heartthrob, capturing imaginations with an allure that seemed otherworldly. Born in 1895 in Italy, he emigrated to the United States and quickly became the embodiment of exotic romance on screen. His striking looks, smoldering gaze, and fluid charisma made him a sensation, especially in roles that played with Middle Eastern fantasy, most famously in The Sheik, 1921, and The Son of the Sheik, 1926. Valentino's performances introduced Western audiences to the idea of a passionate, mysterious Eastern hero, combining danger, charm, and sensuality. Though he was Italian and not Muslim, the characters he portrayed often drew on the same imagery and tropes that would later shape the careers of Muslim actors in Hollywood. His films romanticized deserts, palaces, and the imagined East, establishing a framework that both fascinated and constrained performers of Middle Eastern or South Asian heritage for decades. The impact of Valentino went beyond just on-screen allure. He was part of the silent film era's experimentation with identity, culture, and fantasy, showing that a performer could embody multiple worlds and captivate global audiences. His presence helped set a precedent for actors like Sabu, Sessue Hayakawa, and Turan Bey, who would carry real cultural heritage into Hollywood, while navigating similar exoticized expectations. Even off-screen, Valentino maintained a carefully curated persona, adding to his mystique and keeping audiences enthralled. His tragic early death in 1926 only cemented his legend, making him a timeless symbol of Hollywood glamour, the exotic hero archetype, and the enduring fascination with cross-cultural storytelling that continues to influence cinema today. Anthony Quinn. Anthony Quinn was the kind of actor who seemed to embody the world itself. Born in 1915 in Chihuahua, Mexico, to a Mexican mother and Irish father, he carried a mix of cultures that gave him a rare versatility on screen. Hollywood quickly noticed this, and he became one of the most in-demand character actors of the mid-20th century. Quinn was equally at home playing heroes, villains, or larger-than-life figures, moving seamlessly between Western epics, dramas, and historical films. His breakout roles in Viva Zapata, 1952, and Lust for Life, 1956, earned him 2 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor, establishing him as a powerhouse performer. Later, his role as Auda Abu Tayyi in Lawrence of Arabia, 1962, placed him directly in the realm of Middle Eastern storytelling, portraying a complex Bedouin leader with depth, strength, and intelligence. While Quinn was not Muslim himself, This performance connected him to a lineage of actors portraying Eastern characters with respect and nuance, bridging cultures on screen in a way that few Western actors could. Quinn's career wasn't just about appearances or exoticism. He brought authenticity, emotional intensity, and cultural sensitivity to every role, earning respect from directors and co-stars alike. Off-screen, he was a man of the world, engaged in painting, writing, and exploring different cultures, which informed the depth he brought to his work. Anthony Quinn's legacy is enduring. He showed that talent could cross borders, that actors could inhabit foreign cultures convincingly, and that Hollywood could tell stories that honored global identities. A reminder of the complex tapestry of performers who shaped cinema's golden age. Mohammad Rafi. Few voices have captured the soul of a nation like Mohammad Rafi. Born in 1924 near Amritsar into a devout Muslim family, he grew up inspired by a traveling fakir whose spiritual presence left a lasting impression on him. Trained under some of India's finest classical musicians, Rafi moved to Bombay and launched a career that would make him one of Bollywood's most beloved playback singers. Though he never worked in Hollywood, his music reached international audiences. One of his most famous songs, Jaan Pehchan Ho, was later featured in the American film Ghost World, introducing Western listeners to his emotive voice and the richness of Indian music. His performances carried a sense of humility and devotion, reflecting the deep influence of his faith. Rafi's Muslim identity shaped not only his personal life, but also his approach to fame. Despite his stardom, he remained humble, often reflecting on whether his singing was a sin. He lived simply, maintained strong religious values, and discouraged his children from pursuing careers in show business. Even without stepping onto Hollywood sets, Rafi's legacy resonates globally. His music bridged cultural and spiritual divides, showing that artistry rooted in faith can travel beyond borders. He remains a symbol of devotion, humility, and timeless talent, reminding the world that the power of a voice can transcend language, religion, and geography, leaving an imprint that outlives the era in which it was created. These 17 actors show how Muslim performers quietly shaped Hollywood's golden age, leaving a legacy of talent, courage, and cultural impact. If you loved uncovering their stories, hit like, share this video, and subscribe for more fascinating journeys into Hollywood's hidden history. Don't miss the next story.